A new version is available. Yo, what's going on? Okay, that should work. Okay, that's working. Nice. Let's close a bunch of Adobe Bridge. Why did this open up? That's weird. Yeah, may as well go live on Kick too. How's everyone doing? Yo. Low bit rate. Let's see, whatever. Close this, close that, close that. Suno AI, I'll play around with that later. Chrono Odyssey. What is new with this game? Chrono Odyssey, is it worth playing? See what this is.
If you're looking for a new MMO to play or just follow along, then you may want to consider Chrono Odyssey. I was able to jump in pretty deep with the recent closed beta test and learn a little bit more about what this game has to offer. And honestly, it's probably the closest game out there that gave me the look and feel that New World Eternum gave me. Now, keep in mind too that there are tons and tons of updates that will be happening to this game. The footage that I will be sharing will likely alter during the next closed beta test. And the overall launch of this game is currently expected to be late 2026. And again, we know how this goes. It's very possible that it gets pushed back further. But again, in regards to whether or not Chrono Odyssey is worth playing, maybe that answer can't get answered today. However, we have enough footage to kind of get a good idea of the direction they are headed. So let's just take a closer look at how
Okay,
Chrono
what
Odyssey
direction are
is
they headed?
today and where they may be
Looks like
headed
a
tomorrow.
Spriggan from New World.
Chrono Odyssey does follow a class based system. So essentially, whenever you actually create your character in this game, you have the option of selecting one of 6 different classes. I'll go ahead and just show you what it looked like in the closed beta test here. But essentially, you'll see the 6 different types of classes, and each of these classes have 3 different weapons that you can utilize. Essentially, you can choose 2 out of these 3 weapons to use in combat, and that's kind of where the build diversity comes with this game. There's also tons of different perks and weapon types and things like that that you can kind of play around with. But essentially, the whole idea of these different classes are the different skills you can have associated with the different weapons that class has to offer. The different classes you have to choose
Is bro
from
really
include the
explaining what the
swordsman,
difference between the
ranger,
classes right now?
paladin, berserker, solo up by killing random mobs in the open world, either solo or with some friends. You can do some crafting, some gathering, things like that. And although there is not a direct MSQ in this game, there are things called Chrono Gate bosses, where essentially it's a one on one, in depth battle where you can defeat a Chrono Gate, which will then unlock a new ability in your Chronotector. More on that down the road. But essentially, you are leveling up your character and preparing yourself for these very in depth, hardcore one on one boss battles. During the closed beta test, there were a total of 4 Chrono Gate bosses you could play, and each one was actually a lot of fun. Each had their unique battle mechanics and just different battle scenario, and you actually had to go out and level up and revisit them in some cases just because of how challenging they were. One thing that really made me think about New World for this game was the overall gathering system. Similar to New World, you can pick up a handful of different tools like a sickle or a logging
I
axe or
like how
maybe
he's
like a
directly
pickaxe,
comparing
even
this
a
to New
fishing
World.
pole, and then explore the open world and actually use the tools to gather raw materials. No, I don't think it felt as clean and as amazing as New World does, but again, I think it was pretty darn close, especially when compared to other MMOs out there. If you enjoyed the video so far, consider hitting that like and subscribe button to follow along in the development of Chrono Odyssey. For example, if you gather a bunch of herbs and berries, you can craft health potions and mana potions and things like that,
This
which will just
okay, not what I'm looking for. Pretty surface level. 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Is this a wait a second, this isn't a PS5 game, is it? Lazy Peon 4 months ago. Let's try. I know this guy.
Chrono Odyssey. This is one of the handful of upcoming MMOs that we've been keeping an eye on over the past couple of years, which is just kind of the nature of this genre. There's so few new ones being developed and they all take forever to make, which means, yeah, we're talking about the same list of games more or less year in and year out. Anyway, the last time we discussed Chrono Odyssey was back in June following an early playtest, which was met with mixed, leaning negative reception online. As covered at the time, I did enjoy things about the game for sure, but I disliked many others, unfortunately, and thought it could benefit from just having a lot more time in development, ideally getting quite a few changes and improvements prior to releasing during what was their originally planned window of late 2025, which is fast approaching, if not you consider it already being here. In fact, at the end of that video, I said, as for their projected 2025 Q4 release, I don't know, man. Like, unless this most recent build is leagues
Oh,
better than what we
Q4,
played
so
this
it could be
weekend, there's
relatively
no
soon.
way. Well, I come now from the future with some good news. If you hadn't already heard,
No
it looks
links?
like all of it is happening. The developer has come out and announced plans to massively overhaul the game, which they say should be addressing many of the issues the community expressed during testing, along with plenty of others, as we'll get into. And the release date has, while not officially announced through public channels, it has been pushed back, we discovered through a earnings call, by an entire year, and is now planned to launch sometime in late 2026. Now, as a quick refresher, after playing the prior test, my overall thoughts in the game were, I liked the classic MMO structure. The game had a big open world. You got
Oh,
player the game.
I already see some
I
jank.
liked the classic
Look how-
MMO structure.
look
The
how
game had a big
stupid
open
she's
world. You
walking.
got players running around all over the place, points of interest full of enemies, mini bosses, and side quests. There's a lot of different content, tons of world bosses, and a lot of secrets to discover in the world, which I liked. Just the overall structure of the game, I thought it was pretty good. I also thought combat didn't feel too bad, like decent feedback on the attacks. It certainly isn't the best, most polished action MMO combat, but it also wasn't the worst. Again,
Oh, it already doesn't look good. Oh my goodness.
like I had a nice enough time running around attacking things in the game. It had a good enough feel, but certainly had room for improvement. There was also a fair bit of content variety beyond all the typical MMO activities, running around doing kill and fetch quests, gathering resources, and farming enemies. They also had some interesting activities to mix things up, like as mentioned, all sorts of world bosses, but they also had these really cool trials, which were like a mix of brain teasers with some combat and jumping puzzles. Like, I really enjoyed these, actually. So here's another trial. These have thus far for me basically been like obstacle courses, although I do believe some of them are more boss fighty. Son of... Did you just play a trick on me? This is cool as hell. So far,
I don't
this
know,
is the third
guys.
trial that I've seen. I genuinely really like it. This isn't like a MMO dungeon where you're clearing ads and then bosses. It's more obstacle coursey with some enemies in between. But I do like that. Like, I really do. Despite some washed out visuals and terrible lighting, I actually did enjoy the game's setting and environment. It had this like cool, dark, medieval fantasy tone. I just wish it all looked better. And then lastly, the game kind of had like this old school MMO feel. It felt very almost nostalgic to me at times, which I did appreciate. So those were the things that I liked, but the list of things I disliked were longer and much more severe. For starters, technically, the game was just a complete disaster. Like, it both looked and ran like...
This isn't looking very good. The guy is already saying it's a complete disaster. Ah. My goodness, my goodness.
crap. I saw lots of game-breaking bugs. Oh, I'm swimming in the mountain. There were tons of glitchy animations.
Looks like New World.
An insane level of pop-in. Look at that mountain range back there. And the lighting was just horrendous. How come the lighting looks wonky everywhere? Because the lighting looks wonky everywhere. Yeah. Your level of perception is in tune with what I'm experiencing as well. Maybe the worst that I've ever seen. I don't even know how it's possible for a game to look this bad, but I just couldn't believe it. And then on top of all that, performance was pretty bad for the most part. Now, I eventually got the game to run smoothly, but that required lowering the resolution scale to 50%. Which just, it's not good. And that's with me having an RTX 4090, an i9 14900K, and 64 gigs of RAM. So like the game just, it was a complete mess. Also, like, just to point out here, the game that we played during that beta looked completely different from the gameplay trailers that they had previously released. Now, this isn't an unheard of thing in the games industry, but it was especially egregious here. They looked like completely different games. It all felt really dated in a lot of ways, like a very static feeling world. Enemy spawns are just kind of stood in place, not even having patrol routes, and what I would consider like non-existent AI. Just like, see these wolves like just chilling. Combat was wonky, you know, it had a nice like general feel to it, but there were also a lot of issues that made it pretty rough. For starters, the hitboxes were very unreliable, which made...
I'm already almost turned off. This guy doesn't have a lot of nice things to say about it. If they're planning on releasing the next couple of weeks, I don't know. I don't know. What are some of the streamers doing right now? Whoops, not Tyler 1. Ah, it could be Tyler 1. Baggins, is he online? They're all offline. Interesting.
Combat frustrating. Enemy movement and attacks felt really glitchy and disjointed. Sound effects needed a bunch of work, and there was no option to turn screen shake off, and holy crap, was the screen shake absolutely over the top. So the IV that I launch out, it ticks. And when it's ticking, my entire screen earthquakes. It's too much, dude. Holy crap, I don't need that. Makes me just not want to use the skill. That's awful, dude. And then lastly, a lot of people pointed out, and I myself observed in the video, a strange number of similarities to New World from various UI elements that look nearly identical. Probably the biggest thing that's like, looks so New World to me is like the inventory system. Like the way they've done this with the little Roman numeral, like just the whole presentation is very New Worldian. To things like the supply chest being incredibly similar, the visual presentation of the gathering and crafting systems. In fact, at one point during testing, a bunch of players managed to find a set of buildings that looked to be one-for-one rip-offs, identical copies of those found.
Really?
In fact, at one point during testing, a bunch of players managed to find a set of buildings that looked to be one-for-one rip-offs, identical copies of those.
They can't even use AI to make something original? Well, actually, maybe they did, and then the AI just ripped off New World.
Found in New World, down to having the exact structure, layout, and presentation, even like the distance and separation between various buildings. There were more things, but that is basically a recap of my thoughts after the last test. So with that said, now let's talk about the new stuff. According to Chrono Odyssey's developer, all of this is going to change. Everything bad about the game is getting fixed, and literally they're just overhauling practically everything. So shortly after the beta test came to a close, they posted a brief recap in which they gave a short little bullet point list of feedback that they received. They said on the positive side, the things that we liked, we thought the world was immersive and worth exploring, that the chronotector system was unique and added depth, which if you didn't play, the chronotector was basically just like you'd go into a location, you'd interact with something, and then the area would change, like going back in time or forward, I don't even remember, but like the area would, it's basically just like area phasing is what it is, but they wrap it in this chronotector labeling. Character customization had a lot of options and room for creativity. Yeah, creativity, that's what you can make ridiculous looking characters. You know, I don't know if giving players the ultimate freedom to make characters however they want is the best idea. Also, the game had a solid core of gameplay with strong potential, and I would kind of agree with that.
This guy doesn't have a lot of good things to say about the game. What do they got for Ashes of Creation? 1 month ago. Is there anything from like the past? How do you filter recent? Is it looking rough here, boys? What is the state right now? Full sending the end game.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Yalami, and welcome back to another video on Phase 3 of Ashes of Creations Alpha 2. Last episode was probably my favorite episode since coming back for Phase 3. We got so many cool things done. I think it started off a little doom and gloom. I don't remember it entirely, but it ended so freaking strong. Just a little refresher for you guys if you didn't happen to watch it or don't remember. Let me mind the sandstone real quick. How do we get there? Press P, I think. Journeyman weaponsmithing, processing, journeyman metalworking. Not only that, go to artisanship over here. We've got two pieces, the two best pieces, the pant suck. the 2 best pieces of the metalworking set from the Forge, as well as the weaponsmithing belt from the Forge. Only drops from Forge Lord Zammer all the way at the end. I found it for 22 gold on the exchange, and I was making a killing from selling goblin skin strippers.
Boring. Okay.
So yeah,
what's next? Let's
I
see
need to
some
get the
combat.
materials. My friend John's at work right now, or you guys know him as Falico. He's at work right now, but when he gets home, he has the tailoring required to make. Actually, I don't even think that was the whirlwind draining my momentum. I think it was slowly draining because I was out of combat. Material, please. Thank you. Finally. Oh, I was able to roll on it too. Hell yeah. Maybe not though. It might come out green because I have 1 common board, but at the same time, to counterbalance that, I do have 2 quality boosts from my weaponsmithing gear. So I'm hoping that carries me through, and
Can
we
I
end up
see
getting.
some gameplay footage, please? One day ago, Rumor Reality. Yeah, I just don't want to play a game that's gonna wipe. Oh, nice guy. What does he have to say?
Hello, gamers. It's nice, and I hope everyone's sad to see New World of Turnham Go is having a nice day.
Oh.
Today, we're waiting until everybody. Classic WoW's thriving. You have all these current MMOs like Final Fantasy 14, for example. It's like you have a better example of those things succeeding rather than something new actually breaking through this mold. And I mean, it's a very expensive genre to get into, and it's very expensive. And you don't really have high potential for a new one to really take in the players, or there's, you have a better chance of it just
Yeah.
like rushing through early access, rushing through launch, and with a I'll fix it later kind of mentality, kind of like New World did. And it's really saddening. There's not too many MMOs that are releasing in the upcoming years that have potential. I got my eyes on some. You guys know obviously that I'm really excited for Ashes of Creation. I was killing time with New World until Ashes of Creation's next update next month, but so maybe minor bug fixes season 10, which is why this catches me off guard that this is happening now. I'm sure zone chat is going off. My camera's kind of covering it, but they actually really are. Someone just said, I still want to beat the new raid before I
What's his tech? He's got level 3 mana potions.
call it. There's been so much new content. There's an actual end game. The game is actually good. And yet, this is probably my last time logging into it. This is it. All the builds, all the theory crafting, all the grinding I've been doing this season, it's pointless. I don't see the point in continuing. I think we will see player numbers slowly get back to what they were. What was it, last year? We were down to about I think it was, let's see, 3K average here, August last year, July of last year. If you guys don't remember, this is pre-New World, we know it, but 24-hour peak, 36K. And granted, this is all major fall off from the launch numbers, right? We get that, we understand that. They'll never get back to those launch numbers, but
No.
that what they, so once again, Lord of Ring MMO, maybe a year, have some potential in the MMORPG genre. I think it's gonna I've lost a duel. I lost a duel against Amazon, buddy. But yeah, this has been really sad. I'm gonna end this here. Feel free to join us on Discord. I'm
Well. Let's check the YouTube comments. I know there's stuff coming in. All right. I wonder if that music is now playing on YouTube or not. I'm curious. It should be. YouTube and music is so weird. Even though you can listen to it on the platform, you try to play something live and they'll just completely shut down your channel and DMCA strike your content. If we go to YouTube Studio, what's up here? Actually pretty cool. Thank you very much. The video has 2.7 thousand views in a little bit under 24 hours. 106 comments. The homies are coming in. What are people saying? Let's just look at it on YouTube. Dude, this one's probably better, hey? Yeah. If that's how a big company treats their IP, well, then I don't give a shit. 99% of players left years ago. That's not true at all. That was about 90%, not 99. What's bro talking about here? New World has been improving at a steady pace. After Nighthaven, it was, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, MMORPGs out there. I mean, I don't know about the best. World of Warcraft will always probably be the best MMO, but it had a lot of confidence for sure. The game needed more players to come back to... Hey, thanks for the YouTube subscription. Appreciate that. Very, very nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, this was the weird thing. The game needed more players to come back to get the contract renewed. Like, why didn't they make more servers? Why couldn't they fix their server sharding issue? Like, I got so many of my own friends hyped to come back and not only maybe try New World for the first time, but to start playing again. But no one wants to wait for 2 to 3 hours in queue, right? So they kind of shot themselves in the foot. You guys agree with that? Game was on life support for a very long time. Yeah. It's strange, even the influx of players. Yeah, like that's also like, didn't they give like 30 days for the Nighthaven expansion to try to ride a wave? Like, what were they expecting? They quadrupled their player numbers. Were they expecting like a 10 times the amount? You got 24 hours out of a one-time purchase. I mean, I wasn't complaining about the money. And that's why I never play unpopular MMOs, no matter how fun they are. Guild Wars 2 just released a new expansion, by the way. It's decent, and that MMO has no monthly fee. I mean, that is New World, so it's great to fill gaps in gaming lineups. Is it worth starting? Pay to win as fuck. Is that true? Is Guild Wars 2 pay to win? No, Guild Wars 2 is not pay to win at all. Store Resolve cosmetic, no items that will make you better, pew pew. Not really. You buy the expansions 1, 2, and 3, $50 each. You have all the power to level up and most of the flexibility the game has to offer. Excuse me. Newer expansions will give you some side grades. Guild Wars 2 has an atrocious shop. What does the word atrocious mean? Horrifyingly wicked. Okay. You heard it here first. New World has an atrocious, or sorry, Guild Wars has an atrocious shop. Albion, wasn't that like a mobile MMO like slop game? Garden Warfare. Never buy Amazon game again. Bro expects a dead game to be kept online just for the sake of it. Cities of Heroes Homecoming still exists, guys. If you haven't tried it, it's a great game. If you can't get past the outdated 2005 graphics, it's a huge MMO with endless options. I've never even heard of this. That'll be a hard pass. That's a little off-brand, but I'm sure he likes it a lot. For PR purposes, bro, I bought the expansion like a month ago and people spent hundreds on microtransactions. Yeah, I had over $100 in the shop too. I bought some skin sets. And people spend hundreds on microtransactions. I don't know how legal it is for them to strip the game away from it. Well, it's 100% legal. It's 100% legal. You know, temporary access to their live servers. I think this is what the Stop Killing Games IATI initiative is all about. Is that how you spell initiative? Well, it's not, yeah. Don't quote me though. I played New World at the beginning. There were lots of missteps, 100%. Crafting, constantly only expanding. The harvesting just put an excessive bottleneck on the earlier materials. Yep, that is true. So for every tier 2, you needed like 10 tier 1 resources towards... Yeah, it was like... It's like 10 to 1, 6 to 1, 4 to 1, then like 3 to 1 or something like that. I remember that. Beard hair in my mouth. Then you also needed to level up tier 1 and tier 2, putting far too much stress on excessive farming of tier 1. Yeah. PvE versus PvP, that was a big thing. The first dungeon was fun. Starstone Burrows, yeah, I remember that. Using the plus threat gems let me tank, but running dungeons felt like an afterthought. It felt like they could have applied a little bit of polish or abilities to really lean into PvE stuff. Well, like later game, like, do you remember... what was it called? Garden of Genesis? There's like there's a couple events within the game or within the instance. Similar thing to, oh man, I'm drawing why is this all slipping me? There's Genesis. What was the other one with the ancients? Okay, yeah, at the end, all I'm saying, Tempest, right? They had some in-game like PvE events within the dungeon. I think they did a good job on their PvE. Maybe not necessarily the raids, but the expeditions. We're all tainted by World of Warcraft. Everything's a battleground, everything's a dungeon. But there was also quickly apparent that they were not interested in doing this. I remember the rewards being horrid by comparison to PvP benefits. PvP was fairly unbalanced. I didn't go deep into PvP. That's basically all the reason why I play MMOs. However, I just remember it being a massive AoE cluster. This is true. I always thought it was silly in New World that, like, the Great Axe, the Great Sword, even some of the rapier abilities, they're all AoE. They have massive sweeping motions, but yet you get something like the fire staff where you're shooting fireballs. You would think that would have splash damage, right? It didn't make sense. You found that you had these large sweeping AoE attacks from melee, but then you have what is traditionally big long-range AoE movements being single target. Didn't make sense. I 100% agree with this guy. AoE cluster with anything attacking at a range was foregone requirement to actually fight. That's true. And anyone magely just decimating yeah, mages sucked in New World. That's what he's saying. PvP being unbalanced made me remember feeling locked into my character. I was an old Final Fantasy 16 player where I could change classes and adjust the way I played to progress based on the needs. Stepping back into traditional role made MMO environment, losing the opportunity to adjust. But yeah, that's, I don't know, maybe I don't understand what he's saying. New World had this. I vaguely remember it all based on weapon skill and training those up. It's been a long time. World size, I love the bigger world, but at least during the beginning, the sizing and transportation was a bit... Yeah, New World was a bit of a walking simulator. They waited way too long to add mounts. This is what I said in my main video, which I think might actually even pass 3,000 views today, is that it was just too little too late. Too little too late. If they would have had mounts and more than one... Was Outpost Rush even in the game when it launched? I want to say it wasn't. Nice right up, my friend. 07. He only made it to level 30-ish. Okay, okay. No. I'll just say unlikely. Highly unlikely. This is why they never got a penny from me. Everything that has happened with this game was expected. This is a message from the universe not to waste your life on this trash. Grow some vegetables, get some sun in your face, adopt a dog that needs a home and some love. There's so many better things to do than to force yourself down the dark pipe that is online gaming. All lessons worth learning costs something. This statement goes hard. Mad respect the truth here. I figured it out years ago. I played Minecraft with my kids, but things like this are all sinkholes. His name is Gamer Trash. Is that his old Xbox 360 tag? Love takes us places. What is this? Oh, 1 second. That's the wife texting me. I don't think it's shutting down because the game is bad. It looks like Amazon is pulling out of making games completely. It wouldn't surprise me if they just sell the game to someone else. No. If the game was bad but people still played and made money, they'd never have taken it down. The reason it's been taken down is because it did not make money. Some reports say AGS made about 300 million. Just what people say. So it did make money. I believe they are doubling down on AI game dev. All good things come to an end. And it's not worth buying an Amazon game in the future because they might shut that down. Doesn't this happen with every game? Like Unreal Tournament 2004, that was one of my favorite games as a teenager. Vanilla World of Warcraft. Even Guild Wars 1, sometimes I wish I could get back to. I think the biggest failure was how they tried to make huge lists of servers and everything had to combine them further and further down to only a couple were left. Yeah, that was like another game breaking flaw. They wanted tight-knit servers, but everyone wanted to play with each other. There was no cross-server support. Don't know why the development code couldn't, fix that problem. So yeah, then friends would group on a servers. Like, I think I had to switch servers 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. So it did make money. I believe they are doubling down on. I think the bitrate looks fine. What gives? Can't make everyone
Yes.
happy. I was trying to move my main to my friend's server, couldn't 2 days ago, so I tried yesterday and saw that the population was medium low. It makes sense now, yeah. This was a very long time coming. No one should be surprised by this. I think the biggest failure was how they tried to make huge lists of servers and eventually had to combine it, yep. I played the game for a week now, level 70, barely got a bug or something that would have ruined my gameplay experience. The game is in a really great state and fun. That's what I keep saying. If it would have launched now, is there a play for New World to like rebrand itself? I don't regret spending $60. No, like there's a good couple hundred hours of content you can still explore in the game. There's just nothing for me to do personally, having, a couple thousand hours into it. Still playing Guild Wars 1? Wait a second. Can you, like... I didn't even think Guild Wars was still a thing. Wait a second, Guild Wars Trilogy. Oh, I remember all of this. Oh yeah, Guild Wars factions. Right. I never played Nightfall. Interesting. Be right back, 1 second. It was more than bugs, my friend. The story arc was weak. Combat was okay, and the spell system was awful. I don't think the spell system was awful. I think it was unique. Unique. Okay, this guy is just an idiot. Charging for mounts was wild. Mounts were free. All skins cost money, my guy. Mr. P. His name is Pgro420. Ultimate benchmark test. Ryzen 9, 3900 XT, 3080. It's an old system to these days standards. I guess it's a couple generations old. Munkety OS. All right, we're out of here. Sad story, to be honest. So many cool features in this game. Yeah, I agree. Right? Note to self, never buy Amazon games again, thanks. Never again? This is why I refuse to buy into MMORPGs or pay MMO subscriptions. Pay to play is dead on arrival, simple as. Not true. WoW, Final Fantasy, OSRS, I don't know. I don't think I can bring myself to playing RuneScape. Are all paid MMOs and have been for 10 to 20 years, or even 20 plus years. What are you even talking about? The problem is, this is like, if everyone paid $20 a month for New World, and it was still in the state that it was in, people would be pissed. I think a lot of people wanted to pay a monthly subscription, but I don't know if it would have changed anything. One second. I have to make a phone call. I gotta do my cozy. Be right back. Oh, sorry about that. Is the mic on now? Yes, yes. That's actually true. How are those hours gone? They are not memories of joy, then they would be wasted away. Very true. Real and true. What is Star Wars Knights of the Star Wars? Oh, it's Knights Star Wars The Old Republic. My guy, this is some crazy levels of copiums. Bugs were not the main driver of the game's failure. It would be a multitude of reasons with bugs being on the list, but not that high up. Huh? Game wasn't fun. Explain more, please. I hope Stop Killing Games will make something happen, because as happy as I am to not get into a new hype of New World, it's still scammy of them to do this. Yeah, I kind of agree. Anything AI shouldn't be full price. It takes away from human element entirely, where you're just going to blah, 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 enhance. Shame gaming will be the, yeah, kind of true. The comments just keep going. Started playing on a tournament release. Campaign was fun. Then I saw people doing all these chest runs in chat. What kind of ass way to farm your loot? 100% ruined the game for me. Why make something so boring? A gameplay loop. Yeah, I did thousands of chest runs. I remember even when the chest runs, each individual chest would be 24 hours. So you had to time your runs around a turnum, because you'd have to leave like a little bit of an hour window, because they wouldn't reset at like midnight every day. Time to play WoW. Classic plus hype for sure. What the fuck is New World? Has some good aspects, bad content, capital mistakes of changing from PvP sandbox into generic please everyone theme park MMO. I feel for you, but this is normal to happen with any game, including any MMOs. Video games are not a charity, they're a business. True, dude. Star Citizen? Bad model. Why would they keep servers open after selling you the game? thanks pirate software? What does pirate software have anything to do with New World shutting down? What is this guy on about? I really a degen play RuneScape. Remember, Klaus Schwab, you will own nothing and be happy. And truly own shit. In fact, you still own your games. It wasted money. Dude is unironically plugging Tarkov. That's not the place to invest your time. I would have told you not to play from the beginning, but no one could really know that in the year 2025, every major tech company would be cannibalizing themselves to dump as much money as possible into AI. It's not surprising, but no really predicting it. MS has huge requirements for Xbox to meet, or funding gets cut, and Microsoft has huge requirements for Xbox and the funding of, and it's getting gutted right now. Amazon is no different. All tech companies see that spending money on games is a gamble when they could be pushing for AGI. Yeah. Well, isn't AGI also a gamble though? To be clear, the LLMs will never be AGI. Well, this guy knows. I mean, he's got the Clippy profile picture, right? He knows. The LLMs are just research tools being sold to consumers to generate more revenue. They're all dog shit at almost everything. The huge AI advancements will be kept behind closed doors, and only dumbed down versions will be released to the public. That is actually true. That's not only my opinion, that's the opinion of people who know what's going on. Preach. What are we at now? 2.7? Yikes! 3,000 views. Nice. Well, obviously not logging into New World again. Man, Chrono Odyssey was such a turnoff. I can't believe that. What are we doing? What are we doing? Don't play this, Chrono Odyssey. It does look bad. It does look bad. What do we got on Steam? Let's go to the store. Of course, Arc Raiders is new. Did I buy this game? Yeah, I did. Recently updated. Well, what's the update details? Oh, free weekend. Yeah, but where do I view the old news? Hot fix, hot fix. I don't know, guys. Recommendations? I just want to look at like a catalog, like featured and recommended. ESO. Community recommendations. Okay. Looking. Why are there two community recommendations sections? Okay, that's a bug. Your discovery queue? Is this like games that are on like my wish list or something? Escape from Dukov. I saw some people playing Blue Protocol, but that game has 0 PvP. Hollow Knight, Rust. Which one was pay to win trash? Was Throne of Liberty pay to win or Lost Ark pay to win? Or are they both? Maybe they both were. Throne of Liberty was that fixed perspective MMO, and I can't get behind that. That's my worry actually about League of Legends MMO, is it can be fixed perspective just like League. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that might be it for this New World stream. Old Jeff Bezos, they really stuck it to us. No more New World. Appreciate all of the engagement and nice comments and some thoughtful comments on the video today. That's going to conclude the little short hour-and-a-half live stream. We'll probably be live tomorrow again. We'll probably start up 2 or 3 days a week going live. We've had a couple chatters on Kick and YouTube, and I mean, fuck Twitch at this point as well, with all the platform drama. And heck, if you want to, if Amazon's going to shut something else down, it honestly might be Twitch. You heard it here second or third. But in any case, thank you all very much. Peace. Take care.